Good morning, guys, all of you. In the last classes, we have discussed about entire Git, right? Yes. Now, today's class, let me discuss about few important Git interview questions, guys. See, was the first question is what? How can we see most recent commits in Git? Yes. Which command we use, guys? To list out all the commits which we did on the local repository? Git log command. Git log --, one line. It lists out all the commits, okay, in a single line format. So git log -3, the first most recent commits, most 3 recent commits can be displayed using what? Git log -3. And how can we know if a branch is already merged into a master in Git? See guys, if a branch is already merged into master, okay, we can use the following commands. Git branch is a command, right? --, merge to master. This print branches merged into the master. This is up. See, git branch -, merged lists. This prints the branch merged into head. That is tip of the current branch. Git branch no merged. It prints what? Branches that have not merged. Branches which are not merged into the not merged with the master branch will be displayed like. We can use -a flag to show both local and remote branches. And we can use -r flag to show only the remote branches, guys. This is the answer for this question, guys. Yeah. What is the purpose of git stash drop? In case we do not need a specific stash, okay, we use git stash drop command, guys, to remove it from the list of stashes. By default, okay, this command removes latest added stash. See, to remove a specific stash, we specify as argument in the git stash drop statement command. See, what is the head? Head in Git. Head is a reference, right? Head is a reference, which always points to what? Latest commit. It is a symbolic reference, guys. It's a symbolic reference to the branch that we have checked out. At any given time, one head is selected as the current head. This head is also known as head. This is always written in uppercase. It is simply a symbolic reference, guys, or a reference which always points to what? Latest commit. See, what is the most popular branching strategy in Git? There are many ways to do branching in Git, guys. Okay, one of the popular ways is to maintain 2 branches, master branch. This branch is used for what? Production. In this branch, head is always in production ready state. Okay. Now develop. This branch is used for what? Development. In this branch, we store the latest code developed in project. This is work in progress code. See, git init command, git init we know. We need to initialize the local repository. We use what? Git init. To configure remote repository with the local repository, we use git config. Okay, git configure. We can configure the user. See, we can use it to configure the values of your username, password. Okay, that is what we have already discussed, guys. How to configure our username and password and email address. And we have already configured P4 merge tool, right? Merge tool, diff tool, like git clone. In order to create exactly a duplicate copy of the master branch. See, we can make a copy of Git repository, local repository. See, I want to create a local, exactly a duplicate copy of the local repository. So we use what? Clone. Cloning is a creating exactly a copy of local repository. If any new developer added to the project team, project development team, obviously has to get the entire copy of the local repository or remote repository into his local repository. In such a case, he has to call what? Git clone method. So the entire remote repository will get copied into his local repository. Sub GIT is a software tool, guys, used for migrating SVN to Git. That's all. See, what is the use of Git instaweb? Git instaweb is a script by which we can browse a Git repository in a web browser. And Git hooks are what? Scripts that can run automatically on the occurrence of an event. On the occurrence of an event, that will be called up automatically in a Git repository. These are used for what? Automation of workflow in Git. See, Git hooks also helps in customizing the internal behavior of the Git. These are generally used for what? Enforcing a Git commit policy. What is repository in Git? See, repository in a Git is a place in which we store our workflow, right? Software work, entire work, all the files will be stored in that repository, right? It contains a subdirectory called Git. There is only one Git directory in the root of the project. Yes, this would be a .git is a local repository, guys, hidden directory. See, Git stores all the metadata of the repository. See, what is Git? Git is what? Distributed version control system. It's a version tool. Distributed version control system, or SVN. It's a source code management. Used for what? Source code management. It is open source software, guys. Git is open source software. It was developed by Linus Torvald, the creator of Linux operating system. The creator of Linux operating system. He is the Linus Torvald is the scientist. He is the creator of Linux operating system. That Git is also developed by Linus Torvald. Git works well with a large number of IDEs, okay, integrated development environments like Eclipse, okay, IntelliJ, like etc. etc. Git can be used to handle what? Small and large projects, guys. What are the main benefits of Git? Benefits of Git are distributed system, flexible workflow, fast, data integrity, free, collaboration. These are all what, guys? Git is a distributed version control system. Yes, you can keep your private work in version control, okay, but completely hidden from others. You can work offline as well. See, in every developer's local machine, we can install one local repository, right? In every developer's machine, we can install local repository. That local repository which will be in the form of what? .git. You can initialize the local repository using what? Git init command. There we can work locally. Even we can work on it on offline. You can work offline as well using this Git. The flexible workflow, guys. Git allows you to create your own workflow. Okay, your own workflow. That is what you can create your own branch. Okay, you can start working on that. Once the work got completed on that branch, feature branch. Okay, you can merge that work branch. You can merge that feature branch with the master branch. It creates a separate workflow, guys. Git creates a separate workflow. Fast. Git is very fast when compared to other version control system. Git is very fast, guys, because it is a distributed version control system. Data integrity. See, since Git uses SHA is an algorithm base. Okay, data is not easier to corrupt. Encrypted format, whatever the data that you commit to the local repository or remote repository, that will be encrypted. That will be stored in a repository in the form of encryption format. Plain text will be converted to ciphertext using an algorithm called SHA. This is encryption algorithm. It is a free for personal use, guys. It is a free. You can download it from the internet with a free of cost. Collaboration. Git is very easy to use for projects in which collaboration is required. Many popular open source software across the globe we use Git. What are the disadvantages of Git? I don't think these are all the disadvantages of Git. Okay. See, guys, binary files, steep learning curve, slow remote speed. If you have a lot binary files in our project, then Git becomes very slow. Okay, it takes some time for a newcomer to learn Git. Some of the Git commands are non-intrusive to the fresher. Slow remote speed. Sometimes use of remote repository is in very slow ways due to the network latency. Still, Git is better than other version control system in speed. Okay, see git add command. These are all the different commands that we give. Git add. Okay, Git add what? It allows us to what? Add the working directory files to the staging area. From there, those files will be tracked by the Git rm. Okay, this command is used to remove the files from our index. Okay, and our local working directory, which is just like behaves a Unix command, right? So git commit message. This is allows us to what? Commit a particular changes to the local repository. Git commit -m. This is a commit message, guys, which allows us to what? Commit the changes which you did in the local working directory workspace. What are the main differences between Git and SVN? See, Git is a distributed version control system. SVN is what? Centralized one. We know, we have already discussed. Decentralized, okay? Complex to learn, unable to handle binary files. internal directory, user interface. Okay. So these are all the decentralized. Okay. Git is decentralized one. Git is decentralized. You have a local copy. That is a repository in which you can commit. Yes, every developer's machine is installed with what? Local repository. Even we can work offline. See, in SVN, you have to always connect to what? Central repository, what? Check-in. Central repository for check-in. Complex to learn. Git is a bit difficult to learn for some developers, but it has more concepts and commands to learn. SVN is much easier to learn. Unable to handle binary files. Git becomes slow. It deals with what? Large binary files that change frequently. SVN can handle large binary files easily. Internal directory. Git creates only .git directory, guys. .git directory. This is a local repository. SVN creates .svn directory in each folder. Whereas it is a directory, it creates only .git directory, guys. User interface. Git does not have a good user interface. Okay. But whereas SVN has a good user interface. How will you start a Git for your project? Start Git for your project. Git init. Git init allows us to initialize what? Local repository, guys. So we will start working on the Git using by executing Git init command. Once we create a files, then we add it to what? Local staging area, and then we will perform commit operations so that it will be stored into Git local repository. Git clone we have discussed just before, right? If you want to create exactly duplicate copy of the remote repository into the local machine, local repository, then we'll call what? Git clone method. So how will you create a repository in the Git? Okay, Git init command. By using Git init command, we can create a repository in the Git. What are the different ways to start working Git? See, new project, existing project. For new project, create a new repository. We can use Git init command. For existing project to work on an existing repository, we can use Git clone command. Okay. Using for a new project, we have to initialize the Git using Git init. For an existing project, okay, we have to use what? Git clone command. Git written in which language? Okay, Git language. Okay. Most of the Git distributors are written in C language. Yes, C language. With Bourne shell. Some of the commands are written in Perl language. What does git pull command uses? Git pull allows us to what, guys? To retrieve the files from remote repository to our local repository. Git pull. We can pull the files from remote repository to local repository. Git pull internally does a git fetch. Okay. Git fetch allows us to verify whether any updations are available in the remote repository or not. If the updations are available, then using git pull, we can what? Get those updates into our local repository. See, git pull is a combination of both fetch and merge. Fetch allows us to verify whether any updations are there in the remote repository or not. If the updations are available, we can merge those updations with our local repository with those updations. We can use git pull command to bring our local branch up to date with its remote version. What does git push command? Git push allows us to what? To push the files from local repository to the remote repository. Fetch and merge. See, the push command of git. Fetch, merge, fetch. First git, it copies all the extra commits from the server into local repo and move origin or a master branch pointed to the end of the commit chain. That is what. Merge. Then it merges the original master branch into master branch. Original master branch into the master branch. Now the master branch pointer moves to what? Newly created commit. Yes, after merging, master branch will be created to what? Will be moved to what? That newly created commit, right? What is git stash? See, sometimes we do not want to commit our code, okay? But we do not want to lose also. So for temporarily, we need to suspend our current work, okay? And then we need to work for urgency work. See, we have discussed about doctor's problem, right? OP. When emergency case came, okay, that it temporarily suspends the OP outpatient work, and doctor will go toward that emergency work. And once the emergency work got completed, okay, then he will get back to that outpatient work. That is how. Okay. The Git stash will work in that way. It allows us to what? Suspend the current work. Then we can move to emergency work. Once that emergency work got completed or committed, then we can get back to our original work. That is what we can do with what? Git stash. Temporarily stores in a hidden place, guys. What is the meaning of stage in Git? Stage is what? Step before commit. Okay. Step before staging area. Then it will be tracked by once the files are added to the staging area, then the Git will start tracking them. The files which are there in the current working directory will not be tracked by the Git, guys. Git status allows us to what? Whether working tree is clean or not. Okay. See, this command can show the status of the files in the index compared with what? Working directory. See, index means what? It's a staging area compared with what? Working directory. It lists out the files that are untracked. Untracked means what? The files which are there in the working directory. Unmodified, tracked, but not at up to date in the index. Unstaged, okay, added to the index area and ready for commit. Staged means what? They are added to the staging area and ready to commit, like Git status. Git branch allows us to what? Existing branches, guys. It lists out all the branches, existing branches. See, Git branch -a, we can create a new branch as well using Git branch command. Git checkout. We can check out from the current branch to any particular specified branch. See, Git checkout my branch name. Git checkout master. We can check out to what? Master branch from the feature branch, like that. You can go for creating any number of branches, right? What is the purpose of Git config command? Git, in order to configure our local remote repository with the local repository, so that we can perform push operations, right? We can set the configuration operations for Git installation by using Git config command. See, how can we see the configuration settings of Git installation? Configuration settings of Git. See, Git config -- list. It lists out all the configured information, guys. How the username is configured, with what email is configured, and how with what URL the remote repository is configured with the local repository, and what is merge tool is configured, which merge tool is configured, and when. Git configure list. See, how will you write a message with commit command? See, -m is an option, right? Git commit -m is an option. -m followed by git message, commit message. Okay. What is stored inside the commit object? See, inside a commit object, SHA name, files, references. There is 40 character string is there, no? That is commit ID, what we call it. Commit ID, file, and reference. Master always points to what? Latest commit. That is, master is the reference, head or master, which always points to what? Latest commit, guys. And the files which we have created, okay, and references, commit objects. Like, see how many heads you can create in a Git repository. There can be any number of heads in a repository. By default, there is one head known as head, H-E-A-D, head. In each repository, there would be at least what? One head. Why do we create branches, guys? Why do we create branches? To create a separate workflows, okay? To create a separate workflows, independent workflows. See, if you are simultaneously working on multiple tasks, yes, multiple tasks, if you want to work for simultaneously, then we go for what? Creating branches. One branch is to fulfill the work of one task. Like that, multiple branches, multiple tasks can be carried out parallelly, guys. For each task, one branch, like that. Once each branch got completed, work of each branch got completed, then we can merge with what? Master branch. To create multiple workflows, we create what? Branches, guys. See, feature branch. We create a feature branch. See, what are the different kinds of branches? Is feature branch, release branch, hotfix branches. That depends on the work. That depends on the feature branches. Because these are used for developing a feature. A particular feature is to be developed. Then we create what? Feature branches, release branches. These are used for what? Releasing the code to production. And these are used for releasing hotfix production. Hotfix production for a defect or emergency fix. In emergency case, a bug has occurred. In order to fix that bug, we create a separate flow. How will you create a new branch, guys? Git branch, right? See, this is a single command which allows us to what? Create a new branch and check out to that branch. Git checkout -b branch name. For example, branch name is a feature. current branch is what? Master. We can check out from the masters to what? Feature branch. It creates a branch and it allows us to switch to that branch using a single command. How will you add a new feature to the main branch? Yes. See, add a new feature to a main. We do the development work on a feature branch that is created from master branch. Once the development work got completed, okay, ready, we can merge it, right? Merge operation. Using merge operation, we can add that new feature branch to what? Main branch. Git merge. Git merge allows us to add or merge the child branch with what? Parent branch, that is master branch. Or we can directly merge it to what? Remote repository as well. What is a pull request in Git? Pull request in Git is the what? List of changes that have been pushed to Git repository. Okay. See, after pushing these changes, we create a pull request that contains changes between what? Master and the feature branch. What is merge conflict? What is merge conflict, guys? Merge conflict in Git is the result of merging two commits. Sometimes the commit to be merged and current commit have been changed in the same location. In this scenario, Git is not able to decide which change is more important. Okay. Due to this, Git reports a merge conflict. See, it means merge is not successful. Okay. We may have to manually check and resolve that merge conflicts. Git merge. See, Git merge operation. It allows us to what? Merge. See, if you want to merge the feature branch, we have to switch to what? Switch to master branch. From master, we have to merge the feature branch. Like, see, git merge. This is what? Master branch name. Git reset. Git reset allows us to what? To delete the commits, right? We use this command to reset the working directory to the state of the last commit. Yes, we can remove the files from local repository or staging area or even working directory as well. See, hyphen hard, it allows us to delete all the commits, okay, all the commits from three areas: local repository, staging area, as well as working directory. Git stash temporarily save the changes to, we can save our uncommitted changes to a particular location. See, how can we resolve merge conflicts in Git? See, to solve the merge conflicts in a file, we edit the file and fix the conflicting change. Okay, that's what. See, we have to edit the file, guys. This is how we can fix the merge conflicts. See, how to delete a branch. See, git branch -d. -d is option. -d branch name. This is how we can delete a branch. Git branch -d branch name. This is the command, guys. What command will you use to delete a branch that has unmerged changes? See, git branch -d branch name, -d, capital -d. See, what is the alternative command to merging? Alternative command is what? Another alternative of merging is what? In Git is rebasing, guys. Rebase command, git rebasing. We have already discussed all this, right? What is rebase in Git? Rebase is the process of moving the branch to what? New base commit. It is like what? Rewriting history of branch. See, linear fashion, we can attach, we can branch. See, by using this, we can maintain what? Linear project history. Git merging is a non-linear way. Rebasing is what? Linear way. See, what is golden rule of rebasing? Okay, the golden rule of rebasing is that we should never use git rebase on public branches, guys. If other people are using the same branch, then they may get confused by looking at the changes in master branch after git rebasing. See, why do we use interactive rebasing in place of auto rebasing? Interactive rebasing, okay. What is the command for rebasing in Git? See, git rebase followed by new commit. What is the difference between git clone and git remote? We know that git clone and git remote. Then main difference is what? Git clone and git remote is that it is used to create a new local repository, whereas git remote is used to what? Used in existing repository. Git remote adds what? New reference to existing remote repository for tracking further changes. Git clone creates a new local repository, right? Yes. Existing repository we use what? Git remote. What is the Git version control? Git version control helps us what? Managing the changes in source code. Yes, that's why it's a source code management. See, what is the use of git diff command? To show the differences between the commands, guys, between the commits. So we have installed P4 merge tool, right? Git diff tool to difference the files between working directory and staging area and local repository. Like git diff command we have used. Git tag. It allows us to tagging a particular commit, guys. We can tag a particular commit. See, for example, as a milestone, okay, milestone commit. Then we can tag it. We can go for adding version. You can even tag a specific commit. Git fetch what? We can check whether any updates are available in the remote repository or not. Git pull is what? To retrieve the data, okay? If any updates are available, if the updates are available in the remote repository, okay, we can pull them into our local repository. Like push local repository files will be pushed to what? Remote repository. Git pull, origin, git push, origin, master, okay? Like that. From where we have to push from master branch to remote repository. This is origin is what? Remote repository, right? Origin is an alias name of what? Remote repository. From which branch we have to push in master branch. This is rare is what? Hidden feature. What is reuse recorded resolution? See, by using this one, a reuse recorded resolution, Git remembers what? How we have resolved a hug conflict. When the next time it finds that same conflict, okay, it automatically resolves it. What are the three most popular versions of what? Git. Say git diff and hyphen cache it. Git diff head. Git diff what? It displays the difference between working directory and the index staged area. Git diff hyphen cache displays the difference between what? Staging area and most recent commit. Git diff head. It displays the difference between what? Working directory and most recent commit, like that. What is the uses of git status, guys? Okay, git status allows us to what? Let's see it paths that have differences between the index file, staged file, and current head commit. Okay, it also we can see the differences between what? Working tree in the index file, working tree that are not tracked by the git. These are all git diff versus git status, guys. Git status. See, in git diff, it shows the differences between commits or differences between what? Working directory and in the staging area, that is index area. Whereas git status command just to show the current state of the working tree, guys. Current state of the whether working tree is cleaned or not. Any file got modified or whether any file is added to the staging area. All this will be displayed by git diff, git status. Git default, it shows the differences between the commit. Git rm command is what? It removes, right? It removes a file from the working tree and the index tree, working directory, and it removes the file from working directory as well as index areas. Git rm -r. It recursively removes all the files from a leading directory, guys. Command to apply stash. Sometimes we want to save our unfinished work. Okay, for this purpose we use what? Git stash. We know that git stash is what? Uncommitted changes should be saved at a temporary location. Okay, once we want to come back, continue our work from the last place where we have left. Okay, we use what? Git stash apply to bring back our unfinished work. Git stash apply, stash name. Git log command is what? Git log command is used to what? To display the commit history, right? Who is the author, date? It displays everything. What is the commit? Which commit? What is its ID? When it is done, commit is done by whom, and on date, and the content. What is the commit message? Everything it displays, guys. Git add commit to add the local repository working directory files to what? Staging area. We use git add command. Git reset command, guys. Git reset command allows us to reset the current head to a specific state. By default, it reverses for the action of git add command. See, when you say git reset hyphen hard some particular C2 commit to. From there, all the commits will be deleted permanently, even from local repository, remote repository. From local repository and the staging area, and even working directory also. Hyphen soft, hyphen hard. These are different options which we can execute this git reset command. So these are all the things, guys. Just go through it, guys. We can understand. And what are the programming languages in which Git hooks can be written? Perl, Shell script, Python, and other languages, guys. What is the commit message in Git? Commit message. Commit message is a commit that we add to a commit, right? Message that is added to a commit. It specifies what? The purpose of the commit and what is it indicates the work of that commit. What is done in that particular commit? Like, see, commit message contains a Jira ticket, bug ID, defect ID, etc., etc. Okay. See, in most of the organizations, it is mandatory to put what? Commit message along with what? Each commit, because it specifies for what we did that commit. What is the purpose of that commit? See, Git remote. Git remote what? It will show all the remote versions of that repository. Git log. Git log, we know. It lists out all the commits. Git show, Git object. See, this command shows the information about a Git object. How Git protects the code. How Git protects the code in a repository. It internally uses a SHA algorithm, right? Whatever the commits that we did will be encrypted form. It will be stored in the encrypted format. That's why it secures the database. See how Git provides flexibility. How Git provides flexibility. See, Git is very flexible version control system. Okay, it provides non-linear development workflows. See, it supports flows that are compatible with external protocols and existing systems. Git also supports both branching and tagging that promotes multiple kinds of workflows in version control. See, how can we change a commit message in Git? See, if a commit message, if a commit has not been pushed to GitHub, GitHub is what? Remote repository, guys. If a commit has not been pushed to GitHub, we can use what? Git commit -- amend command to change this git commit -- amend. This is the command by using which we can change the commit message. When we push the commit, a new message appears on GitHub. Why is it advised to create what? Additional commit instead of amending an existing commit? See, additional commit versus amend. Git amend internally creates what? New commit and replaces the old commit. Git amend internally creates a new commit and it replaces the old commit. If commits have already been pushed to a central repository, okay, it should not be used to modify the previous commit. See, how will you delete a branch? We know that git branch -d branch name. This is how we can delete a particular branch permanently. In case a local branch is not fully merged, but we want to delete it by force, okay, then we use what? Git branch -d. What is a bare repository in Git? Bare repository in Git. A repository created with what? Git init -bare command. Git init -bare. The bare repository does not contain any working or checked out copy of source files, guys. The bare repository stores Git version history in the root folder of repository instead of .git subfolder. It is mainly used for what? Sharing and collaborating with other developers. See, we can create a bare repository in which all the developers can push their code. There is no working tree in the bare repository. Okay, since no one directly edits the files in a bare repository. See, how do we push a local repository on GitHub server? See, put a local repository in GitHub. To put a local repository on GitHub is a remote repository. We first add all the files to working directory into a local repository and commits the changes. After that, we call git add. Git remote add remote repository URL. Remote repository URL. This is how we can configure. Okay, we can configure our remote repository with our local repository. Once it is added, okay, we can push the changes. We can push the changes of local repository into remote repository. That is GitHub server. See, how can we set up a Git repository to run the code sanity checks? To run checks before commit. How can we revert a command? Yes, git revert command. Okay, git revert command. See, git revert always creates a new commit with patches that reverse the changes done in the previous commit. In Git, how will you compress? See, how will you compress the last commit into a single commit? Compress last and commit. See, to compress last 10 commits into a single commit, okay, we use what? Git rebase command. This command compresses multiple commits and creates a new commit. See, it overrides the history of what? Commits. It overrides the history of commits. See, how will you switch from one branch to another branch? Git checkout command, right? Git checkout that must new branch name. Suppose, for example, we are in master branch. Git checkout what? Feature branch. Like we will be switched to what? Feature branch. Like, see, how can we clean unwanted files from our working directory in Git? Git clean -x. It ignores files are also removed. Ignored files are also removed. Git provides git clean command. Yes, git clean command to recursively clean the working tree. Okay. Git provides git clean command to recursively clean the working tree. Working tree will be cleaned by using git clean command. See, it removes the files that are not under version control in Git. See the different Git commands, guys. Git ls -tree, git cat files. Okay. See, ls-tree uses this command to show the tree object. Okay. It includes mode, name of each item, SHA value, silly like that, blob, the value of blob. This is a commit ID, guys. 40 character commit ID, 40-bit commit. See, this command is git cat -file. This command is used to view the type of an object through SHA-1 value. Guys. Git grep command. Okay. We use this command for what? Searches through the trees of content of words and phrases. Grep command allows us to search. Git tag allows us to what? Tag a particular commit. Git tag by using git tag followed by tag name. Cherry pick is what? To select a random commit. Okay. I want to add a random commit from the feature branch to master branch. Then we use what? Cherry picking. Cherry picking means what? Selecting a random arbitrary commit from the feature branch and add it to what? Master branch. Instead of adding the entire branch, okay, we'll go for selecting a random commit from the feature branch and add it to what? Master branch. That is cherry picking. What is short log? Short log in Git. Short log in Git is a command that summarizes the Git log outputs, guys. The output of Git short log is in a format which is suitable for what? Release announcements. See, how can you find the names of the files that were changed in a specific commit? Git dev tree -r. This is the command, guys. So we can list of individual files. How can you attach automated script to run on the event of a new commit by push command? See, in a Git, we can use a hook to run on automated script on a specific event. Hook to run. We can choose what? Between pre-received and updated and post-received hooks and attach our script on any of these hooks, guys. Okay. Git will automatically run the script on the event of any of these hooks. On the event of any of these hooks, Git will automatically run that script. What's the difference between pre-receive, updated, and post-receive hooks in Git, guys? Pre-receive hooks. Pre-receive hook is invoked when a commit is pushed to a destination repository. Any script attached to this hook is executed before updating any reference. This is mainly used to what? Enforce a development best practice and policies, guys. Before the pre-receive hooks, the best practice one. Update hooks. Update hook is similar to what? Pre-receive hooks. It is triggered just before any updates are done. Okay, which is just like a triggers case. Any event before occurrence of an event. Okay, and before any update, okay, it is triggered. This update hooks are triggered. Its corresponding script will be executed. This hook is involved once for every commit, guys, that is pushed to a destination repository. Post-receive hooks. Post-receive hook is invoked after updates have been done and accepted by a destination repository. This is mainly used to what? Configure the deployment scripts. It can also invoke the continuous integration system and send the notification emails to what? Release relevant practices. So do we have to store scripts for Git hooks within the same repository? See, store scripts for Git hooks. A hook is a local or a Git repository, but the script attached to a hook can be created either inside the hooks directory, or it can be stored in the separate repository. How can we determine the commit that is the source of the bug in the Git? Just go through it, guys. We can understand. See, how can we see the differences between the two commits? Git if command is there, right? Commit 1, commit ID, commit 2. This commit ID 1, commit ID 2. This is using, even you can use what? Git diff tool, P for merge tool also we can see. In the graphical manner, the differences of two commits will be displayed. Git diff command, guys. Git diff. See, what are the different ways to identify the commit in Git? How can you identify the commit in Git? See, each commit object in Git has a unique hash code, commit ID. There is a fast 40 character checksum hash, right? It is based on what? Hashing algorithm, SHA-1 hashing algorithm. By using that hash code, we can uniquely identify Git commits. All the Git commits are uniquely identified by that SHA-1 hashing code, hash code. Git also provides support for what? Creating alias names for Git command. Alias is known as what? References. Every tag in Git is a reference. These references can also be used to identify the commits. Yes, head, this is fetch head, merged head. We can give our own names to the references. See, when we run git branch name, okay, how does a git know a SHA-1 of the last commit? How does a git know SHA-1? Git uses a reference named head for this purpose. The head file in the git is a symbolic reference to the current branch, and we are working on it. That is what head references to that. The symbolic reference is not a normal reference that contains SHA value. Symbolic reference contains what? Pointer to the another reference. What are the different types of tags that we can create? Lightweight tags, annotated tags, right? Annotated means what? A tag with some extra information. And a lightweight is what? Lightweight tag is just a name, guys. Label. We can tag a particular commit with a label, message. That's all. No extra information is added to that tag. See, lightweight tag is a reference that never moves. We can make a lightweight tag by running commands similar to the following. Like annotated tag is more complex object in annotated tags will be stored in terms of an object in Git. Right? Some extra information we can store in this. -a tag. -a allows us to create annotated tags. Annotated followed by version. That tag name. This is a tag name. So how can we rename a remote repository? See, we can use a command called what? Git remote rename for changing the name of the remote repository. Git remote rename. This changes the short names associated with their remote repository. Let us say git remote rename, repo old name, repo new name, like that. Repository old name, new name. This is how we can replace. We can change we can rename the remote repository. See, these are all the commands. Git if allows us to see the differences between the two files. Git K. This is a graphical TCL/TK based interface for local Git repository. Git instaweb. We can use it to run the web server with an interface in our local repository and automatically direct a web browser to it. How can we see the last commit on each branch of our Git? See, when we run the git branch command, okay, it lists all the branches in our local repository. To see the latest commit associated with each branch, we use -v option. See, git branch -v, guys. Git branch -v. See, it lists out the branches. Master. Is origin a special branch in Git, guys? No. Origin is not a special branch in Git. See, branch origin is similar to what? Branch master. It does not have any special meaning in Git. Master is the default name. Okay. For starting the branch, when we run the git init command. Origin is the default name. For a remote repository, guys. For a remote. When we run git clone command. If we run git clone, okay, we can get the entire remote repository copy into our local repository. See, how can we configure Git to not ask for password every time? See, git config -global credential dot. This is what are the 4 major protocols used by Git for data transfer? See, 4 major protocols used by local, HTTP, SSH, Secure Shell, and Git. What is the Git protocol? Git protocol is a mechanism for transmitting or transferring the data in Git. It is a special daemon. It comes pre-packed with Git, guys. It listens to a dedicated port 9418. It provides services similar to what? SSH protocol, Secure Shell. But Git protocol does not support any authentications. So how can we work on a project where we do not have a push access? See, in case of projects where we do not have a push access, okay, we can just fork the repository. By running git fork command, Git will create a personal copy of the repository in our namespace. Okay, Git will create a personal copy of the repository in our namespace. Once our work is done, okay, we can create a pull request to merge our changes to the real project. What is Git grep? See, for searching this, search for a string and regular expression in any command. How can you record or commit in Git? You can use git rebase command to reorder commits in Git. We use what? Git rebase. How will you split a commit into multiple commits? To split a commit, we have to use what? Git rebase command in initiative mode. Once we reach that commit, then we need to be split. We reset the commit and take the changes that we have been reset. What is the filter branch? Filter branch is another option to rewrite history, guys. To rewrite history, this is another branch. What are the three main trees maintained by Git? See, head, index, working directory. Head index. Head always refers to what? Last commit. Index is what? Staged area. And working directory, where we store the files in our local repository. Working directory. So check out the project from head to working directory. Stage the files from working directory to index and commit the changes. Yes. First, we develop the files in our working directory. Once the development is done, we add it to staging area and then we will commit. See, git archive. This command, we use this command to create a zip file, guys. Zip file. Right? GC is there. We use this command to do garbage collection of repository. FSCK, guys. FSCK is what? This command to perform what? Integrity checks of the Git file system. Identifying the corrupted objects as well. Prune, what removes, right? Pruning means what? Remove the objects that are no longer pointed by any objects in an unreachable branch. What are ours and there's merge options in Git? Just go through it, guys. How can we ignore merge conflicts? Git provides an option called what? Ignore. Git blame. What is Git blame, guys? In Git blame is a very good option, right, to find the person who changed a specific line, right? When we call git blame on a file, it displays the commit and the name of the person responsible for making change in that line. What is the submodule in Git? Submodule is what? In Git, we can create a submodule inside the repository by using what? Submodule command. By using submodule command, we can keep a Git repository as a subdirectory of another Git repository. It allows us to keep our commits to submodule separate from the commits of what? Main module, main Git repository. In order to separate the files from main Git repository to what? We use what? Submodule. We create a submodule. That's all, guys. These are some of the important Git interview questions. Okay. I request all of you to go through this and listen the lectures, what we did. That's enough for the Git, guys. Thank you.